Hey all, my last post, I referenced Boyd Varti, the author of A Lion Tracker's Guide to Life. And the quote that, for me, he made famous: I don't know where I'm going, but I know exactly how to get there. And I love how that applies to the Nurtured Heart approach. I love that I don't know where I'm going, but I know exactly how to get there, in that I know with the Nurtured Heart approach that my choice is to follow the path of greatness, follow the path of my own greatness, and follow the path of the greatness of others. And I don't know where that's going to lead me, but I do know that that's how I want to get where I'm going. And whatever's at the end of that road, that's where I want to be. And so it's interesting to think about, the little things about that book, like, trying on the skin of an animal. That idea of imagining yourself being the type of animal that you're tracking, and imagining your way into what they'd be doing. And there's a lot of imagining our way into the greatness that we're claiming for ourselves. And what is it like to be that greatness, and to take the next steps in your life, live the next moments of your life out from that perspective, with that animal skin on, with the skin of, I am the greatness of seeing the love in each person that I come across. And then what is that like to walk and see love? So there's a, what is the no? The stand one, where is my no in that, in tracking, like we're tracking we're tracking the breadcrumbs that life has to offer to find our way down to our center, to who we really are. And if we're tracking ourselves and we stay on the no as one reference point, the reference point of absolutely no, I will not give deeper relationship to myself or others around negativity. When I lose my way, when I lose the tracks, when greatness is hard for me to find, I'm a solid no in that. I'm not going to just allow that to be the way I operate. I'm not going to accept that as, oh, well, I guess I just operate in negativity today, until I'm able to stumble across not being in negativity. I'm not willing to lose the tracks and then losing those tracks, wander around lost, and relate to myself as someone who's lost, someone who doesn't have greatness, someone who lost their way. That's not what I'm going to give myself to. I can acknowledge that. I can acknowledge the intensity of those feelings. I could acknowledge the truth of how that feels and how that hits and how heavy that is. And I can use that to my advantage, but I'm not going to stay there and let it loop and let that be what dictates how I relate to myself or how I relate to others. As we put feelings on, it's like putting rose-colored glasses on, and everything has a rose tint. Fear, everything has a fear tint. Being lost, everything has a lost tint. You find what you're looking for. And the yes, how am I going to track the yes? The yes is sometimes you circle back. The yes is sometimes you pause and listen. How interesting that is with the Nurtured Heart approach, circling back to the notching up cycle, ever greater no, ever greater yes, ever greater clear, circling back until we find our way, until we get our footing. Stopping, pausing, and listening, entering into the moment and going layer. What else does this moment have to offer me? What might I be missing? Allow the truth of the moment to land, and then ask yourself, so if that's true, what does that have to tell me? And if that's true, what does that have to tell me? And just taking a moment to either circle back or pause and listen. And then stand three, stand three is your clarity. What kind of clear rules are you making for yourself to help you stay on track, to help you keep tracking, to help you see that there are breadcrumbs available and that you can follow them? And for me, that's one of my stand threes, is there's breadcrumbs in each moment, even if I don't see them. There's breadcrumbs in each moment, even if they're in my blind spots. There's breadcrumbs in each moment, even if the moment looks dark and bleak and sad and hopeless and scary. That I know that even in those moments, there's profound information that I can follow. And here's another stand 3 that I know for myself. And I'm going to bring this back full circle. I don't know where I'm going, but I know exactly how to get there. My stand 3 is I'm walking the path of greatness, and that will lead me wherever it leads. And I am fully committed to ending up wherever the path of greatness leads me. Much love.